I'm Adam Miles, the founder of Bridges to America, and just started Refugee Soccer about a year ago. It's Sunday morning here in Salt Lake City, Utah, and this is Newton Gabor. Is that your last name? Gabor, right? Yeah. What?
Borway.
Borway. See how well I know him. I do. We're brothers already, and it's awesome. But on a first name basis, so it's good. But Newton, what's your title again with Refugee Soccer here in Salt Lake City?
I'm the president for the Utah Refugee Sport.
Utah Refugee Sport, and Utah Refugee Sport is the nonprofit
Yes.
that's in charge of running the Adult Refugee Soccer League here in Utah, basically in Salt Lake City.
Salt Lake City.
Great.
16 years old.
Okay, so we Newton and I have been interacting back and forth over the past 9 months or so since I've been trying to help out with the effort, and we met yesterday again, just coincidentally at the World Refugee Day. We were talking about I wanted to find out how things were going, and he alerted me to a problem that is just, to me, unacceptable, and it's basically financial. And I'm going to let Newton sort of explain it briefly, and then I want to talk about the benefits that refugee soccer has to the refugee young men in this case, especially, but also to the broader refugee community and the broader community here in Utah. And I believe that these issues apply to communities all throughout the United States. I'm here because this is where I've lived, and this is where I know Newton, and this is where there's a great concentration of players that are ready to move on and be the best they can be in soccer and move forward with their educational and business pursuits as well. So Newton, so let me just ask you a few questions, and I'm gonna move in a little bit closer so no one needs to see my face. I want to see your smiling face. There it is, and hopefully it'll pick up the sound just fine. Tell me about so how many teams have been involved in the Refugee Soccer League?
16.
16. And when did it start?
We started like in, let's say, we started like around 2013.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, so about 4 years ago.
Yeah.
Okay. And there's teams from, give me a few countries that are represented by teams.
We get teams from like Bhutan, Nepal, Sierra Leone, Liberia, Sudan, Somalia, Iraq.
Good.
Yeah.
So it's not just African teams. There's other countries and parts of the world that are represented. I know that because I've seen some of these matches.
Right.
Yeah. Great. So and how is the just simply, we don't need to get all the details of the politics, but just simply, how has the league operated? How is it run? You're the president, so you organize things, but how does it basically run in terms of financing and the operational side of things?
So what happened is that we solely fund the team based on the teams and the coaches and their contribution. But we largely used to depend on the Department of Workforce Services. The refugee office used to give us at least 3,500 every year, so subsidize what we have collected to help the team so that they can participate. So this is how we run the team. So with that money we take from the refugee services office, we use that money to pay for referees, buy trophies, and every team that participate have to get a little plaque and like a sense of appreciation for taking part in the tournament. So this is how we've been doing it. But then in these few years, the Department of Workforce Services Refugees Office have decided not to give us any money for our tournament. They said they don't have any money, and every refugee community that apply for a grant that have to do with sport, especially soccer, was not given those money.
I see.
So that make it difficult because once they apply for those grants, each community will now write a check to us so that they can register their team. So if the Sudanese community got the grant, they know they have some money here for sport. They will say, okay, we pay for soccer, we will register the team. But not all the community was fortunate to have that. And then since then, we struggled. We struggled because then we talked to DWS and they say, oh, we're going to help you out. The director of refugee offices says she will help us out. But then some people went and lobby to get $1,700 to be given to us, and to get that money is a war. We have to get insurance. If we don't have insurance, we can get it. We pay for the insurance. Insurance send the information to the refugee office. Refugee office say, hey, this is not what we're looking for. We're looking for something else. So it be going back and forth. Up to now, we haven't get that 1,700.
I see. So how long is the season? So you call it a tournament. Most people might know it as like a season.
Yeah.
Right, because it's a league basically,
Right.
and you start. I think games start in May.
We'll start in June.
June. Okay.
We'll start in June and we go until September.
Okay.
Yeah.
So June, July, August, September. So about 4 months.
Yes.
Every Saturday there's about 4 games that go on, or
8 games.
8 games.
Yes.
Okay, 8 games. So really, right now there's only 10 teams right now.
So we used to be 16, and because of the funding we don't have, and we have to pay for referees, and some of the teams don't have money, because what we do is that this year we do, instead of doing $350, which was a little bit cheaper, we do $400. So $400, then you have to pay $60 referee fees each team. So not all the teams have money to do that, because their community was not able to get any. Their community was not able to get any grant from the refugee office.
Yes,
And there's all these guys. Some of them are not working. Some of them going to school. So because of that, so from 16 we went to 11. And then from the 11, one of the teams already dropped out, so we only have 10.
I see. So what normally has been, let me just sort of recap, make sure that's clear. So what normally has been 16 teams is now we're down to 10 because there's real cost in running a league, as anybody can understand. You got to pay for referees. I think you pay for a field.
You pay for the field,
right?
You pay for the referees, yes.
And something to celebrate the league and acknowledge, trophies or medals or what. A party. I know we had a generous sponsor that helped us with a party at the end of the year last year. We did it at City Hall here in Salt Lake City, and so what you and I were talking about yesterday at the field at the World Refugee Day was wait a second, those 6 teams that no longer that can't afford to play, what it turns into, it means that only the teams that can find funding or the players make enough money to be able to pay their own portion of the registration fees are able to play. So that means that the teams that don't have the money, in this case 6 teams this year, so more than a third of the teams that were in the league no longer are playing. So to me, that's just wholly unacceptable. We're talking about, let's say we're talking about $3,000 basically. Right. And let me ask you this: we haven't talked about this, but if we can raise the $3,000, do you think we can get those 5 or 6 teams to get back, and we somehow figure out how to get them back into the league? Because we're kind of middle of July. There's still 2.5 months of the season.
Yeah,
right?
absolutely.
Can we figure that out?
Yeah, we can try to redo the schedule. We can put them in. This is just for fun.
Yeah, right.
It's not. We try before the tournament or the game. We put them together and say, hey guys, this is for fun. We're all brothers. Doesn't matter where you come from.
Good.
We're here to play soccer, to bring us together, to show support. So it's the most important thing. And then after, if somebody wins, at the end of the year, we get trophy, we get medallion, plat and those kind of things. But we can get them, and every year that will help us, because we know that we have 10 this year. Next year we don't know how many will participate, because right now most of the guys are even struggling to pay the referee fees. Every game, each team have to pay $60. But if we have the extra money, we can add to what we collect.
And I will just say, as a side note, I've seen these games, and if anybody's ever seen me go live on Facebook or talk about these games, these are very intense, exciting matches, and those referees earn every dollar that they are paid. I'll just put it that way. Even in the championship yesterday, the referee did a great job of calming down tempers, because these guys, I think maybe in the U.S. we have a great passion about American football, but the passion that comes out when it comes to soccer or football is intense. And so these referees, you got to pay them. That's just the bottom line. So if we can raise this $3,000, the sooner the better, so we can get these 6 teams back into the mix. Tell me about it. It is just for fun, and I get that. Although when you watch these games, I'm not sure that's entirely the case.
Well, it's for fun, but it's a passion. passion.
It
they,
is.
They take it very seriously, and it's about the right. It's like, oh, we will. Oh, Liberia is the champion. Sudan, South Sudan is the champion. Congo is the champion.
Yeah.
So Utah Juniors. So Eagle Star. So it's the passion. They want to win. So when we play this game, we play it. They would be mad if they score on them. They would be upset. They would they would get mad at the referees and those kind of things. So it's not just it's for fun, but at the same time it's something that they really want to win. They want to be like, what, I did it. My family come and watch me play. So it's intense.
Yes,
it's intense, but it makes them to feel happy.
Yes,
they go home and they say, what, we have an accomplishment. Like, for example, yesterday, African United beat Eagle Star, and African United haven't been around for a while, but the fact that they win yesterday, Eagle Star felt like they were the better team, but they have a bad day. So they also, even to come on the stage to collect the medallion, was you could look at their face and you could tell that they were not happy.
Yeah.
So those are the kind of things we talk about. So that make them like, okay, next year we're going to come strong. We want to carry this thing and things like that.
Yeah, I love it. So we just got a few more minutes, but tell me what I think. I won't tell you what I think. Let me ask you what you think. What are the benefits for these young men? These are 16 and older young men that are playing in the Refugee Soccer League. What are the benefits to these young men personally, and then I'll ask you another question about how that applies to the larger community. But what are the benefits?
Well, one of the benefits, they're school focused. They're playing sport. Some of them also play for their high school, so that's where they start from. They start from the Refugee League before they go to play for their high school, and they do pretty good. Number 3, gang activities. At this age, most of these kids from 16 up, they're sensitive. They're being introduced to gang and stuff. If they don't have anything to do, they go do that. Number 3, alcohol and drugs is a serious, especially marijuana. Most of the kids are smoking now, so they have the opportunity to come to this league where we, the adults who have experience, can talk to them and say, hey, listen, this is not just soccer. We want you guys to know that alcohol is not good for you at the age. Drugs is not good for you. Focus on your education. Be somebody. So those are the benefits, and I think it's huge.
Yeah, I love that, and that's really what I see. And so how do you think that affects, if we can keep these young men connected and on a path that is more productive, that's healthier, that keeps them away from gangs and bad things, drugs and alcohol, the abuse of those things. How does that affect the larger community? Here in Salt Lake City or here in Utah, what do you think?
Well, first of all, community would be safe.
Yeah.
The community will be safe because we have a lot of people, young men, who is focused on activity instead of going to commit crime, and also our economic. In Utah, these guys are people who you invest in, and in the future they will contribute towards our economy. So it's just like somebody like me. I'm a refugee. I came here. I go to school. Now I work in the community school where I work with other partners and the school to make a difference. So once we focus on that, we have a better community.
Yeah, beautiful, and that benefits everybody. So really, just to kind of wrap this up, I think the crux of the issue is this: there's no longer government assistance available for now, and that's fine. My thinking is we can find the $3,000 and if we can get that $3,000, we can help stop the decline of the league, which we're seeing this season, right? And be able to engage more people. I mean, if you talk about 6 teams that are playing, that's what are there, 15 or 20 kids on a team, right? So there's over 100. I call them kids. I'm old, so these young men, being able to have them back engaged in not just the games, not just the Saturday games, but all the practices that lead up to that, and the brotherhood, the camaraderie, and having mentors, coaches like you that can say, hey, guys, think about the path you're on. So to me, that investment, and I'm going to call it that, in this league to keep it going, and gosh, maybe even grow it, is something that has huge financial return, so to speak, and keeping these kids off the street and helping them be on a better path. every refugee that comes here, what do you think they really want?
Stability.
Yeah.
Everybody wants stability. Everybody wants something that, tomorrow they can be say, hey, this is my. I feel comfortable because I can come back to a home. I can come back to sleep. I get a job, to go to and stuff. So stability is the key.
Good. So my hope. So thanks for your time, Noon. I appreciate it very much. And so my hope is that we can help, for not that much money, help bring some more stability to these young men, these families, really, because they affect their family that they're in, right? And the choices that they make that have come from, at best, very unstable places, and to the relative stability of the United States. And even more relative stability that we have here in Utah. So to me, it's unacceptable. We're going to figure this out. I'm so glad we reconnected, and I appreciate you taking the time to explain the problem and also explain the benefits if we can just fix this problem. And we're going to go do that.
Right.
So let's do this.
Yeah.
All right.
Thank you very much, and I
Thanks
appreciate it.
Thanks very much. Thank you.